Ratley, could we have our invocation, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Our Father, we come before your presence with thanksgiving as always. We dare not do anything without inviting you in our presence. We thank you for all your blessings. Father, we pray for this transportation board. We pray for our county, our state, and our federal government. Allow the officials to look to you for guidance and understanding. They will do those things that please in your sight and advantageous for your people. Again, we thank you and praise you for all your blessings. For we in Jesus' name, amen.
Let's have our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, you've got a copy of the minutes from the last meeting. I know you've had time to look them over. I need a motion for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Got a motion. Need a second.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed the same sign. The ayes have it. Thank you. Public comment. Do we have?
We have one so far that's signed up. Mr. Chairman, we got Mr. Herb Cooper.
All right. Mr. Cooper, you're up. Welcome to Jasper County.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. I'm Herb Cooper, and I've met many of you before in the past. I was the statewide CTC program administrator when I worked at SCDOT. I ran all the different CTCs around the state, and I came to several Jasper CTC meetings and in the past, and that was when Mr. Lawton was the chairman years ago. And since I retired a few years ago, I decided to go into, start my own business. And when I was at DOT, I didn't have an opportunity with as much things that DOT gives someone like me to do up there, in addition to working with the different CTCs around the state. There's 46 of y'all around. That's a lot. I didn't have enough time to go into detail. So I started my business and trying to work with a select few CTCs with a contract, of course, 8-month contract, to help with the administration of your program. Now, this is not the administration of your projects, but your entire program, to try to enhance it, and so you all can realize the savings in cost and the savings in time. And I've worked with 9 CTCs, and at the beginning when I make my presentation, I say, well, you know, give me an opportunity, let me show you what I can do for you, and see if you don't think my service is worthwhile. If not, you don't renew my contract after 8 months. So, and all 9 have renewed contracts with me, and I have 7 going right now. And I've done this since 2018. So they keep renewing them. They think I'm of service to them in saving them money and saving them time with their projects. Also in kind of making sure that they're following the law, the C-Fund law. It's so easy nowadays, unless you administered the program at DOT, it's hard to realize what you need to do to follow the law, where your money can go to certain projects and can't go to certain projects. So what I've done is I've written just a brief 1-page handout that's like this, and Miss Ellen gave it to y'all. And I just want to kind of give you a brief summary, because I know you're busy, of what I can do, where I fit into this equation. But most CTCs are seeking cost savings. Y'all are fiscally responsible individuals, or you wouldn't be on the committee. You're trying to look out for the members of your community, the traveling public in here, and get the most for your money. And I've also passed out a financial sheet, which I do for all the CTCs, And I don't know if y'all get the financial sheets, I'm sure the chairman does, from Miss Ivana. Does she send them to everybody?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
put it in there for them.
Okay, what I do is I take all those sheets and I make a one-page summary of it as well for you. So at each meeting, you have a current understanding without having to go through all those different sheets. And I shouldn't complain because I'm the one at DOT who came up with those sheets that y'all put in the files. But this is just a one-page summary of how much money you have to work with. I think an important number that y'all want to know is how much money do you have that's not committed to projects that you have available to spend. Like right now, if someone came for a project, you have $1,471,061. If you don't commit any of your money for projects this is the latest DOT statement, which I pulled this from, is April. And it just goes down to the bottom, May, June, July, August. So if y'all are waiting to do a bigger project and it's maybe a $2 million project, you know in September you'll have $2 million ready that you can spend. So this is a one-page that y'all can do. The CTCs I work with around here that I'm in this area of the state are Hampton, Allendale, Bamberg, Barnwell. Some after several years kind of graduate and they say, I think we can handle it from here, Herb. You know, Barnwell's one that's just recently done that. And other parts stay with Kershaw County, Dillon County, Lee County, Newberry County, and I did Georgetown County, and they graduated, so to speak. But these are typically not the large counties. The large counties have a lot of engineers on staff that can kind of do the same thing I do for you. And so these are the medium to smaller counties I work with. And if y'all do decide to go with me for one time to see if I think I can help you, then I can be happy to provide references, names of all the chairmen I work with, if you'd like to contact and talk with them. So just a brief overview of how I think I can save you time and money, and I'll be brief. Good steward of public speaking are the 3 B's. Be brief, be sincere, and then be seated. So we'll try to adhere to all those. Like I said, I worked for over 10 years as the head of the C program at DOT. All 46 CTCs work differently. The law leaves a lot of flexibility. There are certain things you have to do. You have to come up with a transportation plan and adhere to it. And you'll have a transportation plan. The last time it was revised was in 2010. And I was telling, it's a good plan, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's a few things that I think I could offer that could tweak, so to speak, your plan that would help you maybe potentially stay out of trouble with the public, as opposed to, well, why did you select these roads and not these roads? You know, what basis were you using? Why am I not getting my road paved? My road was worse condition than the road right around the corner. You know, well, in a transportation plan that I would help you write, it would go into detail about your project selection, how you pick them, and so that you would be, so to speak, safe with the public. You know, the public couldn't come and scrutinize you as to showing favoritism to someone. And you have to be so careful about that nowadays with people, thinking, and they don't, you have great intentions, I'm sure you do, of your project selection, but you have to even be better than that. You have to show people that what I did had some sort of ranking type system on it that would show. Because y'all, if you look at this one sheet I gave you, you get $1,404,000 a year, and that's at the very top. And if the legislators are kind enough, in the last couple of years, they've given all the CTCs $200 million to split up, just like they split up the gas money. And y'all will get, I've got it written down here, about another $1.4 million on that. So you have about a $4 million program that I think you want to be particularly in. That's large enough, so you want to make sure that your project selection you can prove to the public you pick the right type of projects. If you don't get that boost by the legislators, that one-time money, you got it last year, you got it the year before last. But if you don't get it this year, then all you'll have to work with is $1.4 million. And you have to be very selective because of all the roads that need improvement that the DOT can't get to. The DOT is, like Renisha will tell you, the DOT in each county is only given so much money by the Columbia DOT to resurface state secondary roads, state primary roads, interstates, and it's not enough to go around. And I noticed that's one thing when I was looking at your financial statement this month, that y'all put out a pretty good bit of money on state primary roads. The what is that from Coosahatchee to 170? I think it's
425, 415 something.
Yeah,
Frontage road.
Yeah, and that's a state primary, and it's almost unheard of for a CTC to put money on a primary road.
There was a reason for that, I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh, I know it's in terrible shape, and you add it to a DOT contract. And I'm not faulting you, I'm just saying that DOT doesn't have enough money to do what they should be doing, and they're relying on the CTCs for help. I think I could help there too, with finding ways, maybe a DOT, maybe, to, with maybe some of your legislators, to get money to at least resurface your primary routes. Now your secondaries, that's where the CTCs really are supposed to spend their money. Even in your transportation plan that you do have on file, it says you, excuse me, you'll only resurface state secondary roads. You won't put any money on primary roads. And you put it on primary roads because it was in terrible shape and you wanted to add to a DOT contract. I mean, it made sense, but those are the type of little things that maybe you need to think about, so people can't come in here and say, well, you're putting money on primary roads. My state secondary that I live on is in terrible shape. You know, your plan says this, you're doing this, that sort of thing. So I think that's where I would come in, is sort of assist you, maybe help with maybe a small workshop. Y'all tell me what you want in your plan. I'm not here to tell you this is the way to do it. I'm here just to assist. I'm not here to help pick out projects for you. What I do with other CTCs is once the state comes and brings their potential roads to be resurfaced, and once the county comes and brings their roads to be resurfaced, I typically will ride the roads, maybe with a chairman or whoever else wants to go, and we'll look at them just to kind of make sure y'all agree that there's not a better candidate out there. And what I also do with other ones, I get the district people to maybe throw out even more roads, so you get a selection to choose from. But so anyway, the way DOT lets their contracts, awards their contracts nowadays, is they do it in what they call market area contracting. And market area contracting is where a county the DOT will gather roads up for a county and will put them out for bid either in September or November. They skip a month, January and March. And if you can add your roads to a market area contract with DOT roads, you'll realize by economy of scale a much greater value for your money. If you put a road out for bid that's $1 million, and versus if you add it into a DOT contract for $10 million, you're gonna get much better results in the $10 million contract, economy of scale. And that's what you did on that primary route going to 170. And that made sense. It just needs to be, if that's the way you want to do it, just need to spell it out a little bit more that that's what you're going to be doing. And so I would help to make sure that when you are getting ready to put roads out, when Lanisha brings you roads, and that's probably the best way of going about doing it, because she rides these roads all the time. She's very smart, she knows them, and then she can bring them to you. But we get them timely enough so the DOT people can put it in one of their contracts. So that's what they call market area contracting. And so anyway, that would be like one suggestion. And I've seen when I was at DOT, CTCs saying, well, we want to do this one road and it's in the middle of the year, so we're going to put it into a contract, and it's like a $500,000 contract. Well, I've seen the prices so high on those. I mean, $500,000 sounds like a lot of money, but in road work, it's not. But if you could, and then the same other contract I've seen when they open up bids, that might be a $10 million one. I mean, the prices of asphalt are so much lower, but the contractor's got to do, on a $500,000 contract, he's going to bid real high and get it. So if y'all want a road done in the middle of the year, yeah, you can get it done, but you're going to really pay for it that way. So if we can kind of accumulate them into one time of the year and coordinate with the district office to get that done, I think it could save you a lot of time. And DOT's bread, I call it the bread and butter for resurfacing, and they're very good. DOT is very good at overseeing resurfacing contracts. The quality of their work is good. It's excellent. I mean, you can't find hardly a better route to go in there. But if you can get it in with their contracts, I think that's the way to go. And save you time. And they one good thing about the DOT is that they oversee their contracts very closely. And they're not going to let their contracts time-wise slip. When they put a contract out, it's going to go and get built, get resurfaced roads when they put it in their contract. And so by putting it with the DOT contract, not only are you going to get better prices, but you're also going to get better time completion dates with the DOT people. So anyway, if we can coordinate with the DOT, and that's one thing I would do. I know the people at the DOT, and I know the people in the district office, just having been up there all these years, and I could help get that through the process better than not. That's a big item right there. And this is described in that one page thing I gave you. If you had any issues with procurement, like sometimes you give work to the roads to the county to do, and if they have an issue with procuring the contractor, and it's a reimbursable program, they pay for the work, and then they send, after you program the work and approve it, they send their bill to the Columbia office, and if there's a glitch in the programming, of the procurement of it, I can assist in getting that corrected, and helping. I come to your meetings and help, as I've just described, help with your transportation plan, maybe answer any questions about legalities. I know one thing in your transportation plan, you had how you'll do parking lots, resurface parking lot, public parking lots. That's no longer an eligible item, but it's in your plan, so that would need to be revised. But if the county were to come and say, well, our public library parking lot is in terrible shape, would you please help on that? Then I would be there to help advise. You can do that, you can't do that. Dump sites, school entrances, all sorts of little things that you don't want to approve and have the county build and they not get reimbursed for. So those are some of the other items I can do. I could go on and on and on, maybe assist with your project selection. I'm not going to tell you if you want to do certain roads, that that's a good one to do or a bad one to do. But if you ask me, and I'll give you my thoughts, this might be a really expensive one because it goes through some environmental issues. A lot of bridges on this one, you may want to consider that one. If you have to purchase right away, you may want to avoid that. I can give you some real life experiences of items that I've had seen and helped with in the past. I could go on for an hour, but I want to be brief and be seated. So, can I answer any questions?
Yes, I got 2 or 3. First one, what's your charges? You haven't told us what you charge for this.
No, and I think I would like to do that more in executive session and not to the world.
That's good enough. Next one, you say you've got like 9 counties out of 46.
Well, it's 7 active right now.
Okay, say
7
out
out
of
of
46.
46. Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason you don't have more than that? I'm just curious.
Well, as I mentioned, the larger counties have engineers. I'm a registered civil engineer.
I understand that.
And Charleston has 20 in their roads department. I'd say 20. I've worked with them, and they're great, and they're great people, and help the committees with their program, kind of like I'm helping with this committee. Charleston, the larger counties, I don't think need me.
They have in-house.
They do it in-house, yeah.
Jasper County's got an in-house engineer now too.
Pardon me?
Jasper County has one.
Okay,
Just been on board for a couple, 3 months.
Okay, well, it takes a lot of years to know how to administer a CTC program. And I had to, when I was at DOT, it took me a lot of years to understand the law, figure out how these are things you can do, you can't do, the best way of going about this and that, how to get contracts through. It's hard for even another engineer or someone who hasn't done what I've done at DOT to be able to do that.
Well, I believe you'd be good at it. There's no doubt in my mind you'd be good at it.
Now the projects themselves, like your county engineer, if he wants to resurface this road, I mean, you resurface it with this type of asphalt, that type of asphalt. You can do it this thick, that thick. There's 20 different scenarios there. I worked in the construction office at DOT for a lot of years, so if they had questions, I could help. Renisha's office and her resident construction engineer could help, I'm sure, and does, with county projects as well. But there, if you have a county engineer, that's primarily where they're going to be focused. Once you award, there's a difference between project administration, where you look oversee the roads, and that would be your county engineer, versus running your program. And that's where I would come in with a program.
Wouldn't you be better off presenting your program to the county council?
I wouldn't work for the county council, I'd work for this committee. All my contracts and I work with are with the CTCs directly. I'll come to your meetings and you would program me as just like a project, do a contract and send it into Columbia, and it would just be like that. And at the end of the term, you would send that programming request form in, and they would pay me just like they would pay the county back. So I don't work for the counties, just for the committees.
And I'm just looking at these numbers now. You took the latest one in June, and then you just added to that our monthly, what we got there. I see how I do the same thing, except mine might not be exactly accurate, but I'm with them.
Well, what I did was I went and got your latest financial statement. I'm guessing, Miss Ellen, okay, what you sent shows if you took, it's kind of complicated nowadays because they have all these provisos that are out there. So there's one financial statement for proviso 118.20, one for 119, one for 22, on and on. There was like, and I don't know how many you had, but what I do is I put it all together because that's the money you have available to spend.
So we got 18, 19, and 20.
18, 19, and 20. Yeah. There was a 22.
22.
Yeah, it's 22. But and so I just added them up, and that's the money you've got.
Yeah.
As of your last statement of April And then I took your yearly projected income and divided it by 12 and just came up with an average monthly income of $117,808.
Okay. I see Bronco there raising his hand. I know he's got a question.
I just want to know what county in the Low Country that you work with now.
In the Low Country, Hampton County, Allendale, and I don't know if you consider Bamberg the Low Country. Those three in the Low Country.
The only concern I have is that duplicating services, like Jasper County has an engineer and a transportation chief.
This would be the program. They don't work with your program at all. They work with your projects. They're not helping you write your transportation plan or helping you maneuver through the DOT headquarters on project awards, things like that.
Any project the county's ever brought to us, we approved the funds and gave it, and then we out of it.
You're out of it. Right?
They bid it,
You're a
they're
funding
bid it,
group.
we through with it. When we take a road project, we give it to the state, once we through with it.
Right.
And it's worked very well for us in the past, and we've had a wonderful relationship with the state.
Good.
We've never had any problem.
Yeah, there are going to be some times when projects kind of get stuck and they don't go through. Why isn't this? We programmed these roads 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They're not done yet. Why is that? You might have the same issue with the county. Why is that? What's going on? Well, sometimes things fall through the crack. But what I do also is help follow up on every project you program. If you look at your financial statement that Ms. Ellen sent you, you have projects that were done 4 years ago that you have money left over on and it's never been returned to you. That should be returned to you as soon as the project's over. And those are things I would make sure your money.
We've complained about that many times.
Okay, well,
We try.
I know the people to talk to. Let me put it like that.
Okay. Anybody else got anything for her?
Thank you.
If,
We appreciate you coming.
okay, is that
We're looking
okay?
forward to your cost estimate on it.
But, I don't know, but I'd like to know what, I still didn't understand the cost associated with this service.
That I did.
He said he would
He would talk to it in executive session.
We don't want to talk about it in
If
public.
you want to go in executive session towards the end of the meeting, or I could, however you want to do it on that one.
He didn't.
Write us a letter, send us a letter. Send us a letter and we'll talk about it next meeting.
Okay.
That fair enough, fella?
That'd be great.
All right. Like I said,
Everybody agree with that?
you use me for one time, and if you don't think you've come in the overall scope of things, from what I think I can save you, it's a minimum amount. It's below the threshold for having to go out and advertise for an engineer for my services, professional services. So, and then thank you very much, Herb. I appreciate working with you.
We appreciate
Goodbye.
you coming. We look forward to your letter.
Is it all right if I
Yes, sir,
sit
please.
in the rest of your meeting?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Pardon?
Consulting is good, we don't have any problem.
He gonna send us, we don't do nothing with it, we know what it's gonna cost us, we talk about it, right? We talk about it next meeting. All right, let's get into the meat of our meeting today. All right. First of all, we need to talk about a road naming. We got a road naming for Mayor Bronco Boston. I got a letter here from the state where they approved it. So they approved naming a portion of South Carolina 46 to S95. In other words, from Epps Avenue to I-95 in Hardeeville. It's going to be a road named for Bronco. All right. The delegation is forwarded this. The General Assembly has approved it. The sign has been purchased and it's been delivered. I think the state's got it in their hands now. So they schedule a ceremony. we'll be down there and have a little dedication ceremony. And it would be nice if as many of you could come as would, right?
Who schedules the ceremony?
The delegation.
The delegation, okay, good deal.
Anybody got any question on that? I think it's a good thing. Most roads get named for people after they die.
That's right.
I'm glad we got one named for a fellow who's still here. Be a part
We're
of it.
glad to, we had Leroy Steve, he was still living.
All right, that takes care of that one. All right, now we got a complaint. You know, we're working on Jenkins Avenue. And we got a complaint from a lady, Miss Betty Thomas. Remember, she came before the committee here several months ago, but petitioned for the road to be paved, which we did, right? And basically, I got a letter that she wrote to the state, and then I got their response to that, and then I got her response from the state. So I'd like to take a minute to go through all this with you, right? She said to resurface, so first of all, they thanked them for doing the road. They said they eliminated some of the potholes, but yet there was loose gravel remaining on the road. The mowing maintenance was lacking. The lines was either faded or partially covered. Roadway equipment was making gouges in the road, and it was dipping in the road. It wasn't smooth. In other words, says the workmanship appears rather sloppy. That was her last word. It says perhaps the contractor presumed that the results were good, but however, after reviewing it, it's not a very good job in her opinion. All right, so that's her letter. That's her. All right, I got a response from Mr. Chad Rawls in the state, and it said that he'd coordinated with our local resident engineer in Jasper County. Right, said the road is still under contract. It is not. The road has not been finished. Right. It says he wanted to make sure that our resident engineer follows through with it, and make sure before they approve the road that most of these complaints are taken care of. So she got some response to her letter, right? It's still cooking. Then she responded to Mr. Rawls with another letter saying, thank you for the update, and that we truly, thank you for the update, and we truly monitor, and I can't read much, in that we will timely monitor accordingly, as the overgrown grass is an eyesore and the subpar road conditions will further deteriorate in the meantime. In other words, she still ain't happy with his response, but nothing we can do about that. That road is between her and the state right now until they finish with it. But I just want to let you know that she is on record of not being happy with it. So if any of you get any calls, you know what it's about, right? All right. And getting back to our agenda, when we get to the road naming sign up and get the ceremonies scheduled, I'd appreciate as many of you coming as good for that ceremony, right? Now we're back to identifying roads. Remember last month we decided we would back up and take a look at some roads and try to come up with a priority list, how we want to do the roads in the future, right? Remember we talked about we have a road in Langsfordville Road, S2775. We did a portion of that. We need to try to look at completing that road. There's another road that's 462, that's the Pine Line from Gillsonville to Pine Line. There's about a mile in that section of that road that hasn't been completed, right? And that'd be a good project. Then Bronco looked at the road in Hardyville for us, goes to Cook's Landing, what we call Cook Landing Road. I don't know what it's called now. There's about a half a mile of that road that needs to be looked at, right? And then, I don't know if any more.
It's 1 mile, it's 1.8 miles
I
long.
started to say it's probably,
Almost 2 miles.
yeah, almost 2 miles, don't you think?
But he's saying only the first about a half a mile of it's bad.
Right.
So that'd be a good road to look at. I haven't been there and looked at it. That'd be a road we need to
I've
look
seen
at.
it.
All right. Is any other roads that y'all know of that we need to take a look at? I mean, that's 3 or 4, there's enough roads right there to take out a little bit of funding for the next couple of years. That's all we need to do is, there's nothing we can do now that we get some more money. We got a little over $1 million set there, that's about all we got to do with it, which is not a lot of money in road paving. But we need to establish this priority, we need to kind of set it in concrete, what roads we're gonna take. Now, remember I told you last month, I was meeting with the county engineer the following day, right? And he's fixing to come to us, wanting some money for the industrial park out there. You remember, we've done several roads in the industrial park, and we've done the entrance ways on 2 or 3 there's entrances out there. That's expensive operation. And they fixed to come in here with that. And I told him, I said, you can come make a presentation when you want, but there's just no funds there for it now, right? And while I was involved in that conversation with him, I brought that road up in Dasher that we talked about, where the county won't take possession of it and the state won't take possession of it, you know? And it keeps coming back. He's saying everybody's saying we don't want to set a precedent. Well, what's happened is the adjutant general has told them they can't spend money on any road that's not a public road. But he didn't tell them the county can't take a road. And he didn't tell them the city can't take it. I mean, the state can't take a road. So they're just looking for an excuse not to take it. You understand the road we're talking about? That's that little road that we've had so much problem with. We need to keep the pressure wherever we can apply for somebody to take possession of that road.
Well, somebody's got to take responsibility.
Well,
I mean,
first thing Jim said to me is, we don't want to set a
that's
precedent.
crazy.
And you don't want to set a precedent. Nobody wants to set a precedent. But it's a mistake. You know, 2 mistakes don't make a right. When the state had that road for years, they maintained it. They had signs on it, they had a road number on it, and everything. When they surfaced the road next to it, that's when they discovered that they didn't own that road. It's a real mess up there. It's a little short road, it's not an expensive road. But it is a road that we need to stay on top of that now. And that should be a priority project with us.
You know, we had the same situation in Oak Hill.
Pardon?
So we had the same situation in Oak Hill.
That's exactly right.
We had the state and the county determine who determined it.
Well, I think when the state's saying, I mean, the county's saying that as the general says, we can't spend on anything that's not a county road. He didn't tell them they can't take the road into the system. They can take it if they want to take it. The county council can do anything. Home rule says that.
Who finally got that road? Who finally claimed that road, or no one did?
They never did.
No. It's the same thing.
I was saying they put it out, that's ridiculous, go through the same thing. They don't get nothing done. But I'd say the county council should take responsibility for that.
All I can say to you, as you talk to these council members, try to get licking. I've talked to the chairman, we've had the administrator there, we've all been there. We all know about the road in Tarboro, right? It's just a simple matter of somebody stepping up and saying, I will take this road, and that problem can be solved.
Right.
Can the citizens that live on that road petition the county to take that road?
Pardon?
Can the citizens that live on that road petition to the county to take that road?
They have done that 2 or 3 times. Yes, they've been to the council, she's been in here 2 or 3 times. You know, they've raised the roof everywhere there is raised.
That's what I was telling them, that's the next step. That's the next step we really have to take. But with the county council and all up, go up to it and ask for that service.
Council should take the road, in my opinion. I'm not a council member.
But they could.
Oh, they can take the road, sure they can take it. The state can take it. The state, they had it for years. When I was a public works director, I never touched that road. The state maintained that road for more than 20 years that I know about. If they did it then, why can't they do it now? They the one goofed it up. Somebody goofed it up. They had a road number on it, they had signs on it.
Can they
Has to-
issue a waiver? The state can
Pardon?
issue a waiver.
Pardon?
Can the state issue a waiver? Contact and see if they can issue a waiver.
I'm trying to hear.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Can the state, since they maintain it prior to them giving it up, can they do a waiver and continue?
Yes, ma'am. They could take the road if they would, but, you know, I've been there with them. They don't want to take it back. They just, nobody wants it. And
The county they can take it, but they won't do it. Right?
I can tell you, our delegation needs to get involved.
Maybe so.
One or two phone calls, they solved that, right? It just needs to be done.
All I know, we need to start spending some money on this end. And because we spend a lot of money in Harneyville, I tell you, and a lot of money is still to be needed for the state in Harneyville on the Riverport project, which is my project. There we got 8 warehouses, and they're trying to petition for 1,700 homes. So that's going to study.
This committee approved the funds to redo that road up there. That's when, before it hit the fan, nobody else will claim it.
Absolutely, that's what I
So we need to spend some money on this one now.
That would be the chance.
There's gonna be a lot of money spending
Pardon?
on that end of the county.
Yeah, well, we need to do that road. That's important. That road up there. Those people's got a real problem.
Do that
And
all
it's
the time.
not of their doing.
They're done.
It's this administrative error, something, I can tell you
Just
that.
haven't done it so
I'm
many
on
times.
choir.
Anything any of you can do with your council members, represent anything,
Mr. Chairman,
let's keep the heat on it. Yes, ma'am.
when we were talking about these roads, the Langfordville, the Gillisonville to Pineland, and the Cook's Landing, we would have to choose out of those because we couldn't do all of them
No,
with the
that's
million.
right. We just need to, first of all, we need to get the state to give us an estimate on one or two of them,
Okay.
and then take them one at a time. And, kind of establish priority, whichever one we want to do first. We don't have to do it today, but we need to be thinking about it.
Okay. Thank you.
That's the 4 roads we need. All right. That's all I have. Anybody have anything need to bring before the committee? No, I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
And a motion, need a second.
A second.
And a motion and a second. Any further comment? All in favor say aye. Aye. All in opposed the same sign. The ayes have it. Over with.